Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here. It's actually, I was looking back. It's been a while since it's just been the two of us. So it's just the two of us today. Because I thought we had Jones 2 weeks in a row. We actually had Jones 3 Sundays in a row.
Oh, do we really?
Yeah, I noticed it when I went to go edit the video. There were already two. It was like every other for two of them. Jones was on the screen because it saves like the log of what you've done on iMovie when you edit videos. And I was like, oh, wow. So we had Jones 3 times, Sean once, and then this will be like our second solo show in like 3 weeks. So luckily there's a bunch of shit going on. So we were kind of just talking about this right before we hit record. We're in the middle of March Madness. Well, not in the middle of, quite literally the very beginning of, actually. The first game just went to halftime, I think. So we've got a wonderful matchup in the play-in game of Texas A&M Corpus Christi against Texas Southern University. So it's a much awaited matchup there. I think these are the two teams that are playing for the 16 seed. And if I'm not mistaken, they will end up playing not Gonzaga and not Baylor.
Not Arizona either.
And not Arizona. So the other one.
I don't know who's a 1. Is Auburn a 1?
No, Auburn's a 2. I mean, I literally just did a bracket today. You would think I would know this, but yeah, of course not. I don't know, whatever. They're playing to be a 16 seed. So they are going to be Kansas. That's who they're going to lose to. So they're going to lose to Kansas, probably on like Saturday. I don't know, whenever the game is, Friday, Saturday. And yeah, so this game is gross. What's the score? Did you catch the score before I went to halftime?
I don't know, 32-30, something like that.
Yeah, pretty sick. So did you do a bracket?
No. Chris might have volunteered us to do one.
Yeah.
But we'll have to do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well,
truthfully, how do you do a bracket without knowing who's in?
Yeah.
Do you just get it in as winner?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be, so on this bracket, it's like Kansas versus Texas Southern / Texas Corpus Christi. So like whoever wins that game is who you think would win, but Kansas is going to fucking mop the floor with them.
There's 2 games this year where they're playing for 16s, right?
Yep. There's 2 games that are playing for 16s. There's one that's playing for an 11, which is Rutgers Notre Dame. And then I think the other play-in is a 12. Looking for it right now.
Not that important.
Yeah. I always thought it was 4 16 seeds, but
no. It's never been that, because the big thing now is like people are pissed because you win your conference and now you don't get a bid anymore.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wyoming, Indiana is for the 12 seed.
Yeah.
That'll be tomorrow. Which, like I said, I'm on Wyoming plus 4.5, only because of Ian. Shout out to Ian McMillan, Bacon Bets podcast.
Every single game.
Friend of the show. Yeah, just like his whole thing was he was going to bet every single game during the NFL season. He's betting every single college basketball March Madness game. So I just listened to his podcast earlier today. I wrote down all of his picks. I'm not also going to do the same thing. But I'm going to tail him on some of the picks. Like I listen to what he has to say, and when he's confident, I'll tail him. Like there's a couple games he's been like, I really have no idea. This is a toss up. You could go either way. Like the Texas Virginia Tech game. He said, did you llisten to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause
he has no idea.
He took he bet on Virginia Tech, but then he took Texas on his bracket.
Yep.
Cause he's like, I don't know, one of these will be right.
Yeah,
so
literal toss up.
Yeah, because he lists out all the stats, and if I like the stats that he lists, I'm like, all right, sure, I'll bet on that. I'll tail him. But truthfully, I have not had any time to look at any sort of stats for college basketball. I barely have had time to do golf. I haven't done any of my golf handicapping yet this week.
I got to do it tomorrow because I played today.
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine tomorrow too, and I'll get to that. Whoa! As I throw my phone.
Hey, yeah, just throw. Can you just smash that off the desk, please? Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really been big into college basketball since I was in college, really. And then I wasn't big into college basketball either until I got to college. So there was really like a 3 to 5 year window where I was like big into college basketball, and now I'm not. And like I said, the last 2 years, the last 3 years, I've just been tailing Ian McMillan. So for a lot of the college basketball stuff, that's really that's it. Like I have I did one bracket today based off of literally nothing. I looked at the teams and was like, I feel like this team would probably win. And then I did another bracket that kind of tailed Ian's but then I made some changes throughout his. So I have 2 brackets. That's it. That's all I got. And a couple bets in the opening round so far.
Yeah, I placed some bets on for Thursday when we drove through New Hampshire. I went 3 and 4. I mean, 3 were Ian's bets, and then 1 was I just took Villanova live. They were down 7 at halftime. I just took them. They were plus 105 on the money line.
Nice.
So that hit, and then 1 team lost by 30. But other than that, Ian did good.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how his earlier picks did. I went 2 for 3 tailing his picks, but I don't know how he did earlier. And I think I was more confident tailing him because I think he got killed in like the first 2 games.
Yeah. So I forget what day it was. It was either Thursday or Friday, but he listed like 7 picks. I missed the first 2 because I was working or I was busy or something. Like they were like early starts. So I missed the first 2. And then of the last 5 that hadn't tipped off yet, I was like, I'll just tail on like 3 of these. Well, whatever day that was, he went 4 and 3. And the first 2 that I missed, he went 2 and 0. So
he just lost on the one. He only lost on the ones you tailed.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, nice.
2 out of the 3. I went 1
2
and
out
2.
Of 3.
I went 1 and 2 of the picks that I tailed with him, and he went like 4 and 3 or 5 and 3 on the day or something like that.
Way to ruin his picks.
Yeah, so I suck. I should apologize to him. Just send him an I'm sorry and not explain it.
Yeah.
Should be like, I'm sorry. My bad. So speaking of golf, how'd that go today?
It went all right. So first day out there, I hit the ball great. Full swing was great.
Mm-hmm.
Really actually was. And then got a new putter. So I have no feel for that. Plus the greens are in March mode. So there's nothing to take away there. And chipping. I have a new method of chipping, which there's nothing to take away there because I haven't been out yet. So, yeah. So the things that went well, I was happy with, and the things that didn't go well, it's too early to really evaluate. So, yeah, I shot what I'm calling is a March 80. Yeah. Like if I hit a bad chip, I went and got it again.
Right.
But that's because again, I'm like, so I only did that. Like I didn't like re-tee a driver or anything.
Yeah.
I only did that with something that's new, which is the putter is new and the chipping style is new. But there's nothing to take away from because the greens are they're soft, squishy, long.
It's like putting on
rolling
wet Velcro.
Like the cups are like everything lips out of the cups. So
yeah. What'd you change with your chipping?
It's just so it's opening the blade up, using the bounce, and then piggybacking that like setup with like a clock system. So I take my hands back to my hips.
Mm-hmm.
I have a yardage for that.
Okay.
I take my hands to my shoulders. I got a yardage for that. And
Mm-hmm.
hands to my head. And I have a yardage for that. And that's like with an open stance and an open blade using the bounce, which is something classic Gary tried showing me. And then one of my clients got a video analysis from a guy who does short game stuff with Tour Pros, James Seekman.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes really well off the mat inside until I had to see, and then I'm fucking trying to help the thing up and
Yeah.
wait a minute. Does this ball go 12 yards or does it go 16 yards? Like, ah, shit. Because like my whole clock system, I don't know the yardages right now. Right. I have them.
Right.
But they're on like my Google Drive, like good place for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just that method, I just got to get more trust and reps in with it.
Yeah.
But it's March, so I can't expect that to be any good.
Yeah. Well, of course not.
Because I can't go practice anywhere either.
Yeah. So I went to the range yesterday.
You go to one in Attleboro?
Yep. Yeah, down the street from me. Atlantic Golf.
Pat the Lefty was telling me that's a good spot. I meant to tell you.
Yeah. I've been there a few times. It's good. It turns out they no longer have natural grass. They had a big sign out front that says natural. It's like their original sign says natural grass, and then there's like a bunch of bays, and then over on the left, it's like I don't know, it's like a covered area inside of like a half barn, I guess. But that used to be the natural grass. And then I asked one of the ladies that worked there when I was there yesterday, and I was like, hey, excuse me, like, do you guys have natural grass over there? And she was like, no, we used to, we stopped doing it. It was too much upkeep and people shredded it. So we stopped it. And I was like, okay, all right, no worries. Thank you. But they do, like, on their main section, they have heated bays. Like, I could have gone there in the wintertime. I just didn't because I don't know, whatever, because I didn't. But you know, it is there. It's pretty good. They have a chipping area. So it's a cool spot. But I went again to the range yesterday, and I felt that was the best I've swung and hit, whether on a range or on a course, I think ever. In the now entering my 5th year of playing golf. Aside from, you know, when I was a kid, I played years when I was a kid, but I took like a 10-year break in between. So in the now entering the 5th year and back, everything was fucking good. Like, things were going straight. There, not every ball, right? But I would say somewhere around 80 to 90% of the balls were going straight. Like, there was no, there were a few like topped, you know, I topped the ball or fuck it up somehow, or, you know, there was like maybe of however, call it 75 balls that I hit, however many come in a bucket. There's maybe like 5 shanks versus like, you know, 15, 20. It was good. Like, I felt really good. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. It's not like I went out there and I think I'm a fucking tour pro, but everything was pretty good. The irons were fucking great. The mid irons. So like the 7 and 8 were fucking great. 9 was good. The shorter stuff was tough, which I thought was interesting because normally those aren't those are like the easier ones, but I struggled a little bit with the pitch, the 56 and the 52. The driver was probably the worst club that I hit yesterday, as far as consistency goes. But I mean, I guess that's a given, right? That's normal. But yeah, man, I was fucking money with the 7 and the 8 iron. They felt so fucking good. 6 was okay. I even hit the 5 iron because I started out. What did I start? I started with the 9 iron and then moved my way up. And I felt so good that I was like, fuck it, I'm going to hit a 5 iron just to see if I can. The first two, not good. Um, but then the next couple actually straightened out and were pretty solid. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would swing this club on the course, but like, it's cool to know that like I hit 3 shots in a row with the 5-iron that like actually looked like golf shots. Yeah, it's cool. So I'm excited. And I know I'm going to go out and play, and it's going to be completely different. It's going to be absolutely awful. But I'm actually playing tomorrow. So I took tomorrow off of work. I called out of the school. I told them that they know I gave them like a 3-week notice, when I got the job at the new job. And so I just told them that tomorrow I have to go do all the onboarding stuff for my new job, like fill out paperwork and get like my phone and laptop and all that shit. Obviously not true. They're mailing me my phone. And I filled out all the onboarding stuff online virtually, but I wanted to play golf because it's going to be like 62 fucking degrees tomorrow. And yeah, I hit the ball really well on Monday. That's the one thing. Like if I went on Monday and it was an absolute fucking debacle, I wouldn't have made a tee time for Wednesday. I would have been like, maybe I'll go to the range again after school. But because it went so well, I was like, fuck this. I got to get out there and play. So I'm playing tomorrow. It'll be my first round at Heather Hill at 10:38. So hopefully it'll
where to find you.
It'll be yeah. So if you want to come take me out, please do me a favor. Attach a car bomb to my car, whatever
this
you
will
want.
Be your round of golf will be one day in the past to when this is released.
Yeah, that's true. Damn. So you can't take me out, but
nope.
Yeah, so it'll be good. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm fully prepared to go out there and not be able to do a goddamn thing. But I don't know. I switched some things up, like off of nothing, right? I don't have a fucking golf coach. I've never taken a lesson, but I at least feel like I've shortened my backswing and I've loosened my grip on the club. And those two things made a really nice range session. Again, we'll see what happens on the course, but
we'll see.
We'll see, But yeah. What else do I got here? Twitter idiots. This was great today. Speaking of, not really working. While I was teaching today, well, not while, like I had some classes that I actually did have to teach today, but in my downtime, I got into it with a bunch of fucking morons on Twitter about this Mac Wilson trade. Did you happen to go and see any of it? Any of the back and forth?
I saw a little bit of it. I'll go to it now.
So
again, and I will say this is going to be against my better judgment.
So Jones, I was talking to Jones during the day, and he actually went through and looked at quite a bit of it. But it all started with Evan Lazar, who writes for CLNS Media. It's funny because I actually applied to work at CLNS as a sports betting writer, and then I never heard back from them. So whatever. So Evan Lazar posted a video right after the trade that they announced that the Patriots traded Chase Winovich to the Cleveland Browns for Mac Wilson. He posted a video of Mac Wilson at Alabama playing against LSU while Joe Burrow was the quarterback. And it's Mac Wilson picking off Joe Burrow in the end zone and goes, "Here's your new linebacker." And I'm like, okay. So unknowingly, really, I mean, I didn't really do it as like I didn't have going full troll in my head. Like that wasn't what I want. That wasn't my original goal. But I just replied to that tweet and I said, what did I say? Something along the lines of like, it says a lot about a guy when you have to go back 4 years to find highlights on him. And I go, is there nothing from with him on the Browns the last 3 years? So he replies back almost immediately and goes, the trade just happened. Chill. So now I'm like, well, now I kind of want to be a dick. Like I originally was just like commenting that because again, before I get into this whole Twitter tirade literal day long fucking event, I want to preface it by saying for anyone that's not a New England Patriots fan, if you're on Twitter and you saw the announcement of the trade, Chase Winovich from Mac Wilson, again, if you're not a Pats fan, the Cliff Notes is Chase Winovich was a 3rd round draft pick. He was supposed to be a good outside linebacker. Turns out he's not that good, and he didn't really play. So last year, he ended up being a special teamer, right? He just played on special teams. So everyone looks at this and goes, oh my God, the Patriots just got better. Mac Wilson is a impact player. Like that was a legitimate thing. Like I saw a tweet where someone called Mac Wilson an impact player. Well, come to find out, Mac Wilson played 193 snaps on defense last year, which is 21% of all of the Cleveland Browns snaps, which, whatever, say there's whatever that is, call it just over 1,000 defensive snaps. He played less than 200, but he's going to come in and be an impact player for you guys. Okay. So my whole thing was like, everyone's overreacting, right? Because everyone's like, oh my God, Belichick wins again. Oh, Bill, in Bill we trust. Bill can do no wrong. Bill traded Chase Winovich, who did nothing for us. And now Mac Wilson's going to be different. And everyone's like, oh, all they need is a change of scenery. All it takes is a change of scenery. And Mac Wilson's going to be great. Like people had these stupid fucking narratives. So again, I had a lot of free time today. So when Evan Lazar goes, the trade just happened, chill, I responded back with what I thought was a decent response. And I go, what does the timing of the trade have to do with what highlights are available? This just seems like a trash for trash swap to me. Winovich was turning into a special teamer, and Wilson doesn't seem like he's going to give much more than that either. So Evan never responded to me, but plenty of other people on Twitter did. So everyone just started going fucking wild. Like people were coming up, people were making up facts. I felt like I was talking to Vinny. Like there were people with Vinny facts. Someone tweeted, even if they replied to my trash for trash tweet, and someone goes, even if it's just that, he's better on special teams and cheaper. So I was like, well, that's not true. So I responded to that and go, actually, that's not true. According to Spotrac, and I tagged Spotrac, which is a salary tracker for all sports. I go, Winovich's cap hit is $965,000 in 2022, and Wilson's is $2.5 million. So you traded for a guy to get better on special teams, and it cost you an extra, what, 1.5 million and change, almost call it 1.6 million. And then the person responds and goes, that's strange. Like, yeah, you were wrong. And then like people are coming at me and they're like, no, they see something in Wilson. That's why they went for him. He's cheap and athletic. And I'm like, he's not cheaper than Chase Winovich. He costs more money. Like people just make up this narrative. They just like get this scenario. And this is Pats fans, right? And we've talked about this before in the show, how neither one of us can really stand Patriots fans. And I certainly fucking hate Celtics fans, but it's for the same reason, right? These Patriots fans will look at it and they sound like Celtics fans. They're like, oh, well, Bill wanted Mac Wilson, so that means that he's going to be good. Because every guy that Bill identifies on another team is great, right? Everybody is Wes Welker. He's never missed. He's never missed on anybody that he's identified as a good fit, right? We've never had a Joey Galloway. We've never had Isaiah Ford. We've never had Coney Ealy, right? All of these guys that Belichick has identified and traded for, they've all panned out, right? Everyone's been Wes Welker and Randy Moss. Like, come on, man. Like, you're talking about a special teams a guy that's listed as a linebacker, but he plays more of his snaps on special teams, both of them. And they're different positions. Chase Winovich is outside linebacker, edge rusher, even though he's undersized, but that's his position. Mac Wilson is an inside linebacker on the smaller side. He's like 6'1", 235. So you got guy, like, he's not good. That's what my whole point that I was trying to make today was Mac Wilson's not good. But like, you would think that Mac Wilson's going to be the second coming of Teddy fucking Bruschi by these people on Twitter. And I'm like, you guys need to get your fucking heads out of your asses, because you're either one, making up stats, or two, like, not listening to anything and being unrealistic. You sound like a Celtics fan. So I literally went all day back and forth with people who were just fucking tweeting like random shit. All kinds of crazy, like, it got wild. There was one guy, his name is Political Folder on Twitter. But he started out against me. Like, he tweeted something like stupid, like, whatever, you're dumb. And then like a half hour later, he was tweeting at the other people that were tweeting at me, like defending my point. And I was like, I don't know if that means I made a good point and I convinced him, or he just believes something different now. I don't know. But like, again, I'm not like surprised that there was no reasonableness on Twitter. And I'm not surprised that, oh my God, these people come up with such hot takes on Twitter. But like I said, I had a lot of free time today while I was at work. So I figured I would engage and go down some Twitter rabbit holes with people. So, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed it, because it seemed like it took a lot of work.
Yeah, it wasn't really that much work.
You had to do research and...
Yeah, it was easy, though. You just fucking Google Chase Winovich. You go to spotrac.com, type in Chase Winovich, then type in Mac Wilson, and then you got the numbers you need. Like, it's not like
you had to like type sentences and spell things right and shit like that.
Yeah, there was one guy who was
Type
just a
words.
there was one guy who was just a douchebag that I was going back and forth with. I'm trying to see if I can find the conversation with him. Because there was like no way. I just gave up and I stopped answering. And I was like, whatever, dude, you can think that you won. Oh yeah. So after I tweeted out that Mac Wilson played 193 snaps on defense, 21% of the total plays, because someone said he was a productive player. So I responded back and I go, 193, 21%. I'd hardly call that a productive player. He's basically Winovich at inside linebacker instead of outside/edge. And now you owe an extra 1.57 million for it. So someone named, I'm not going to say his name because fuck him, no free ads, and he's a douchebag. So someone replied to that and goes, Winovich played 10% of D snaps. Why didn't you mention that? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. So I go, okay, I actually did mention that in a different thread. And I quote tweeted my previous tweet of when I said that, and I showed it to him. And I go, my point this entire time has been that it's a trash for trash trade. And there's no valid reason to expect that Wilson is going to come in and do great things. That's all I said. His response was, yeah, man, I don't care what you said somewhere else. The concept of trash means it has no inherent value. Both of these players do. And I'm like, all right, well, now this guy's being a fucking douchebag. So you're going to argue with me over semantics. Like, the concept of trash means it's no inherent value. All right. So I bit again, I'm bored. So I replied to that and I go, oh, then he goes, this is more aptly described as a change of scenery trade. You just can't see that. That's on you. All right. So I reply and I go, Well, your previous tweet asked why I didn't mention how much Winovich played, which would imply that you did care whether or not I'd actually said it, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. For what it's worth, I hope the trade works out, but I'm not going to pretend like Wilson is the answer to the linebacking core. So this guy just keeps going on being Mr. fucking douchebag, being like, well, my previous tweet also answered my own question because it was rhetorical, which doesn't require an answer from you. I'm like, all right, well, I can already see where this is going. And he goes, nobody said he's the answer to the linebacking core. This is another narrative you've created. And I go, I decide to continue on with this guy. And I go, your rhetorical question was incorrect, however, because I actually did acknowledge Winovich's snap count. I'm also not saying that you personally think he's the answer, but there's plenty of people on this app that are calling Wilson a quote impact player and insinuating he's better than he is. That's all. So then he goes on to be like, you said that in a different conversation. I don't care about that. I'm not going to research you. Make your points in this conversation, as if there's no fucking character limit on Twitter, right? Like I can just write paragraphs on Twitter. And then he goes, let's not play the correct it game when you thought the term was linebacking core. Your definition of impact is not the same as theirs. So I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. So I just didn't respond to that because at that point I was like, there's nothing going on with this guy. Like he's a fucking douchebag that's got an answer for everything and won't admit that he was wrong. So I moved on and engaged with other people. So, but it was fun.
Sounds like you had quite the day.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's fun. I like fucking around on Twitter. It's actually a good time.
I don't know. You just always feel like you can't fucking win.
Well, you can't. And you have to know that going in because you're eventually going to run into douchebags like the one I just read about, who are just going to keep bending whatever they're saying to make themselves win. But there's plenty of other people like that one guy that I said, he said he's cheaper. That was a Vinny fact. He just made it up and goes, yeah, but he's cheaper. And I go, actually, he's not. This is what it is. And he was like, oh, that's strange. And then he actually replied to me in a different thread over there. And he was supporting some of the things I was saying. Like there's plenty of people like that are just reasonable. And I'm fine with being reasonable. I'll be like I tried to be with the douchebag guy, be like, hey, man, this is what I said in a different thread. Like, I'm just letting you know that like what you said is incorrect. And he's like, oh, I don't care. You put it here. Fuck you. I'm not searching, whatever. And I'm like, all right, dude, like if you just want to like call names and not have a conversation, that's fine. I'm just trying to let everybody know that Mac Wilson's not that good. He's a special teams linebacker. He's Therese Hall. Like if you're a Patriots fan and you're like, oh, what's a like similar guy? He's Therese Hall. Like he's decent in coverage. He'll get some playing time. He's not a 4-down linebacker. He's not a 3-down linebacker. He's decent in coverage. Maybe he can play against some tight ends. He's smaller. So if you're playing a team that likes to run the ball, probably don't want him out there at 6'1", 235. Like, I don't know.
If Mac Wilson plays the way he played in 2019, do you want him out there?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think I don't think Therese Hall is capable of what he did in 2019. And I also don't think that we have someone that will do what Mac Wilson did in 2019. Now, why he didn't do that in 2020 or 2021, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
We're now coming up on 3 seasons removed from that.
Right. So I don't know why he only started 6 games. I don't know if it's because they drafted someone better than him. I don't know. No clue why.
Yeah.
But if 2019 Mac Wilson shows up and plays, I think we have significantly upgraded the linebacker core. But that's a big if because that player needs to be there.
Yeah. I mean, you could compare him. He's smaller, but would be similar style to a young Jamie Collins, like Jamie Collins the first time around, before he got old and slow. But even still, like I think Jamie Collins is like 6'3", like 250.
And I don't think Mac Wilson runs around the field. I think he's a tradition. I mean, he's small, but I think he's a traditional middle linebacker. Not, and if you play two, he's one of them.
He is more of a cover guy. And I will give him credit. He's good in coverage. Because Evan Lazar then tweeted out more highlights of him, from, oddly enough, from the 2019 season. Nothing from 2021 or 2020, but in coverage against some of the tight ends, he looked pretty good. So I guess he played pretty well. Well, one of the highlights I think was from this year, because it was of him covering Hunter Henry on the Pats, and he did a pretty good job. So
he also blew up fucking Ramondre Stevenson. That was a fucking big hit, but that's one play.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, again, so I couldn't tell you why I have no idea what happened in 2020 and then what subsequently happened in 2021.
Right.
Now, he missed 3 games both seasons, but he also wasn't starting as well. He started 14 games in 2019. And then why he only started 8, I just don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened to him, but
I don't know if so 2019 to 2020, when did Kevin Stefanski take over? Like maybe if they changed D coordinators, maybe the new D coordinator was like, change the scheme type of deal.
And then it's like, who they have the Koromoa guy.
Yeah.
They like him.
Yeah.
Was he a rookie last year or the year before?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't either.
Might have been 2 years ago. But I don't know. People are fucking dumb, especially Pats fans. They have their heads so far up Bill Belichick's ass that he can do no wrong. Like everything he does is fucking great, right? And I said that to a couple people because a couple people tweeted at me and was like, "Oh, you just need the change of scenery. Oh, he just needs a change of scenery." And I tweeted out and I go, sometimes a change of scenery for guys is great. An example here was Kyle Van Noy, right? He was a first round pick with the Detroit Lions. Everyone thought he was an absolute fucking bust. They cut him or they trade him here. However it goes, it was a trade. He makes his way to the Patriots, completely revitalizes his career. Looks like a first round draft pick, plays out of his mind, goes and gets a boatload of money, and then sucks again. And then comes back to New England after he gets cut and then gets cut again because now he's getting older and he's not the same player anymore. So, but the fact of the matter is he completely revitalized his career. All he needed was a change of scenery. But again, for every guy that's like that, you can probably name at least 2 or 3 guys that the opposite is not true, which I said Isaiah Ford. Bill Belichick identified Isaiah Ford as someone he wanted. Couldn't fucking cut it. Bill Belichick identified Coney Ealy as someone he wanted. He traded a 3rd round pick for Coney Ealy. Then he fucking cut him. He didn't even make it out of training camp. He traded a 2nd round pick for Mohamed Sanu. Now I know Sanu dealt with an ankle injury at some point. It kind of fucked him, but they kept him around and then they cut him. And like sometimes the change of scenery thing doesn't work, So like Dominique Easley. In the reverse, right? Dominique Easley sucked when he was here, so we cut him. Then he went, I don't even fucking know where, and he sucked there too. You know what I mean? Now I think he's a free agent this season. I don't even know where he ended up. Like there's plenty of guys that get cut, and just because they get a change of scenery, they don't become all pros. Like I don't know that mentality that like just because he's getting a change of scenery coming here, he's going to be better. It's not true.
So there was a DC change from 19 to 20.
Okay. So that makes sense.
It went from Steve Wilkes to Joe Woods.
Okay.
And I know nothing about them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, because when that again, because when I first saw it, well, because my first reaction to the trade, because I saw how it went. People thought it was great or people thought it was terrible. And I looked at it and I go, well, Winovich wasn't playing here.
Right.
So I have no use for Winovich at all. Now, so you get rid of him, you ship him out, just get him away from me. And now you have a player, and I had to go back and look at this because I remember him at Alabama. I'm like, now you have a player that at one point in time had 82 tackles, had a couple pass deflections, used to blitz the quarterback, like kind of did some different things on the defense.
Yeah.
But now it's like, but then the last 2 seasons were kind of fucking fucked up. So it's like, I don't know why. So I look at it, I go, all right, well, you gave up someone that wasn't going to play for you for nothing.
Yeah.
So fine, I'm okay with that. I'm like, I don't think there's a mismatch of value in the trade.
No, and I don't either. I think it's a fine trade. It's someone that wasn't going to play for us.
We're going to find out if it
wasn't going to play for them. And that's my only thing. My only thing was, how dare I ask for like reasonableness and be like, it is like, call it for what it is. Like, it's a guy that we traded away that wasn't going to play for us to get a guy that wasn't going to play for Cleveland. And like, maybe it'll work out, but also maybe it won't. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't really fucking matter because he's a fucking special teamer. You know what I mean? Like, and at the low point, he's a shitty special teamer and he gets cut. At the high point, he's a productive middle linebacker who can play in coverage. Pretty solid. But like, some of these people being like, oh my God, Mac Wilson. Oh my God. Like, I don't even know who the fuck Mac Wilson was.
Oh, Mac. Well, so this is the thing. People remember he was
Well,
good
I remember him. I remember him from Alabama.
He was good in Alabama.
There was a bit of hyperbole, but yeah. I knew who Mac Wilson was, but I knew Mac Wilson from Alabama. I didn't know Mac Wilson in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he played more than he did. Like that part was off. I probably thought that his 2019 season was probably all three of his seasons, and it's just not that. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I figure at worst it's Barkevious Mingo.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, but the thing is, Mac Wilson's a fifth round pick that you. Yeah, but McClellan was like, I don't know. McClellan was like an outside guy. But McClellan was fine. Like,
yeah, he had one pretty good season.
Dude, Mingo was like the 6th overall pick.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not fair. He could never be Barkevious Mingo because he was a 5th rounder.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. But like, it drove me nuts that people were just so hard pressed on one fucking thing, like one way. So
I like it. I mean, gets Winovich out of here and brings in somebody who at least has raw potential, and at least Bill could call and fact check people and say, what's the deal with this kid? And I know it's college, but the fact that he can call Nick Saban, go, what's the deal with fucking Mac Wilson?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, hey, this is what he's good at. This is what he's not good at. And if you put him in this situation, he's going to be fucking terrible.
Right. Yeah.
Or Kirby Smart, like whoever you need to call.
Right. And I mean, for what it's worth, like just thinking about it, Steve Wilkes was the guy that ran the defense that Luke Kuechly became like an all-world fucking player on. Steve Wilkes was the defensive coordinator in Carolina. And because he ran it so well, he ended up getting the head coaching job in Arizona. So I know nothing about Steve Wilkes other than
maybe Gerard Mayo. Like, again, so maybe Gerard Mayo can find it. Like,
yeah. So I would say, it seems like a Steve Wilkes scheme is one that favors middle linebackers, right? So that his rookie year, he played really well because it was the same kind. He played the Luke Kuechly position.
Yep.
So he gets that good production. So I don't know, maybe he just needs to be in the middle doing that sort of thing.
Yeah, because again, it seemed like in that 2019 season, it um seemed like he covered a lot, but I don't know. That didn't seem great. I don't know. It like a 70% like completion percentage. I don't know. Is that any good? Like that seems like a lot.
Yeah, against him.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah, that seems high.
yeah. So that seems high, but that was his rookie year, and then after that it came way down. But like he also blitzed the quarterback probably 40 times.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that, 3 times a game? Like
Yeah.
80 tackles, some passes, defended a pick, like some forced fumbles. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just figure it's like no harm, no foul on the move.
Right. Same. So whatever. Fuck them. Fuck Twitter. Unless I'm bored and have nothing to do. Well, I don't know really. There's no really good segue for this, but we have finally some good news. Finally, some good news out of actually, yeah, here's your segue out of Twitter, right? Twitter giveth and taketh. You actually are the one that turned me on to this. Jones. It was you or Jones. I think it was Jones.
I think Jones sent it.
And then I saw you tweeted it from the Sarcasm Speaks account. Why don't you let the people know the good news? Potential good news. I wanna pump the brakes a little bit there.
Yeah. So the U.S. Senate passed a bill that would keep us in daylight savings time, a topic that we broke down last episode.
Literally on the last episode.
So we would stay in daylight savings time. We would fuck standard time because I don't want that shit. So now it just has to go to the House. And I assume that the bill is full of a bunch of bullshit and it probably won't get passed. Yeah. Like in Massachusetts with sports betting, where it's the opposite, where the Massachusetts House keeps passing sports betting and the Massachusetts Senate won't fucking pass it. So do we have a party issue with the Senate versus the House?
I don't know. I think both are controlled by the Democrats.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. There's an even split. I think there's an even split in the Senate and the House is controlled by the Democrats. So it's a 50-50 split because a couple times I've heard that Kamala Harris has had to been the deciding vote in the Senate.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. I mean, the House has to pass it or else this is all useless, but
yeah.
I'm like, I mean, on record, I'm all fucking for it.
Yeah. Well, I also saw, because I clicked on the tweet that you have retweeted to see like the replies to that. Yeah. And obviously,
I'm sure people are pissed.
There's people fucking bitching about it. People are like, oh, so we're just fine with the sun not coming up until 9 a.m. And I'm like,
where the fuck does the sun not come up till 9 a.m.? Where?
Right. That
Show
was
me
my,
where.
My first
Show me
response.
Fucking darkness at 9 a.m.
Yeah. My first response was, where the fuck is it not going to be the sunrise until 9 a.m.?
Show me darkness at 9 a.m.
Yeah. But I actually replied to one of those that said the 9 a.m. thing. And I go, the sun rising at 9 a.m. is exponentially better than the sun setting at 3 p.m. And then like a bunch of people replied and were like, yeah, fuck that. Like, who cares about darkness in the morning? So then this is great. I don't know if I can find this in time. But so I'll cliff note it. So there was one person that was tweeting about how it's a terrible thing that it's going to be dark in the morning now because there are kids that need to walk to school. So people inevitably start roasting this guy. And people are like, what are you talking about? Like, there's streetlights, there's cell phones, like there's also like, who the fuck, like how dark is it going to be for how long are these kids walking to school that they're going to be dark for? And then another person goes, in my town, high school starts at 7 a.m. So if you have to walk to school at 6:30, it's dark
dark.
anyway. It's dark anyway right now. Like people were just roasting this guy up and down. So this guy replied to one of them and goes, yeah, well, it's going to be darker longer when they walk to school and it's not safe. And then someone said something, and then he goes, yeah, but like predators are more likely to like attack a child or something when it's dark. And so I go, all right, that this guy's premise is about predators, like predators and children. That's why this guy doesn't want daylight savings time. So luckily, again, because I kept reading the replies in this whole thread, someone replied to that and goes, hey man, do you really think if a predator is going to abduct or assault a child, they care whether or not it's 20 minutes before the sun rises or 20 minutes after the sun rises? And then everyone started piling on after that one too. And it's like, that's what you went with, right? That's what you went with. Well, predators and children have to walk to school.
Yeah, imagine that, someone who preys on children, what for whatever reason.
Yeah,
they're gonna look at it and go, all right, well,
the sun just came up.
Really,
I have to go back inside.
Really want to be. Yeah, they're vampires.
That's what someone said. Someone replied, like when people were like piling on, they were like, "What? They're predators. They're not vampires." Dude, it was awesome. It was so great.
Yeah. So I mean, will it be a little bit annoying that at like 8 o'clock, that's when the sun's going to be rising? Yeah, but
sure. Yeah, but who gives?
You don't have to live in Massachusetts either. Move.
Yeah,
this place sucks.
Yeah,
this
we've
state
talked about
sucks.
that before. Like the closer you are to the equator, the more the closer you are to a standard 12 and 12, like 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark. And the further away you go from the equator is the more disparity. So like in the wintertime,
so if you really,
in Massachusetts,
if you're concerned about the time in the hours, move south and west of the time zone.
Yes. Yeah. So move to like Georgia. I
don't know what time zone Mississippi is.
Yeah, but I mean, no one really wants to live in Mississippi.
Well,
move
I mean,
to
you can't make
Eastern Tennessee. You go to Eastern Tennessee.
Isn't Tennessee? No, Tennessee Central.
I think Johnson City, like Eastern Tennessee, Johnson City might be East Coast time, or Western North Carolina.
That's that's probably not south enough though. Mississippi.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, but I don't know where the line is. Because I know New Orleans is central. I don't even know what Mississippi is.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest. But
I can look it up really quick.
It needs to happen. We need to stay in the fucking
it's just like it's so annoying.
Because then some other people
see darkness at 3:45.
Yeah, and some other people were tweeting, being like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." And someone goes like, "Oh, we need to make days longer or whatever." And I don't know if they really meant it how it was taken, but then other people were tweeting back at them and be like, "Hey, fucking retard. You realize this doesn't make days longer, right? You still have the same amount of light. It just switches the time." And I'm like, wow, these people are fucking brutal. Like all this dude said
dude, that's
was
a
like,
dumbass fucking statement.
Yeah. But like all the dude said was like, oh, we need to make the days longer. And it's like, hey, dickhead, like that's not how this works. But like in the wintertime, like Massachusetts only gets whatever it is, 7 or 8 hours of light. It's just instead of from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., it'll be from 8 p.m. to 4 p.m. Like we still have the same amount of shitty light. Like it's still 16 hours of darkness where we are, right? But it just shifts it by an hour. So it's still dark at 7:30 in the morning, but it's at least still light out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm fine with that.
So you're going to want, if you really want to maximize your light, and you want to stay in the Eastern time zone, then you're going to want to go probably to Tallahassee. because that's the westernmost, but then it would have to balance out with whatever's southernmost.
Yeah.
So like Miami or what's on the other side? St. Pete.
Tampa. Yeah.
St. Petersburg is lower. Well, there's some other beach down there. I don't fucking know. I don't know if the trade-off of how south that is makes it lighter, or if
Yeah.
the west of Tallahassee-ish. It's not really Tallahassee, I don't think. That's your answer.
Yeah.
Either the southernmost point of Florida or like Tallahassee-ish.
Yeah.
Tallahassee might actually be too far west because that might move into no, they don't they're not in central. There's a little piece of Florida that's actually central time.
Yeah.
And then all of Alabama, Mississippi, half for
I mean, I would
most of
imagine there's
Tennessee.
got to be an area of Texas that you could go to too. Like southern Texas on the west, on like the furthest west side of central time.
Yeah, dude. So actually most of Texas is central. Except of like a very small tip of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bet like if you went to like El Paso or like San Antonio or something.
No, San Antonio is like way too far east. You'd have to go. I don't know what's out west. I don't know my cities.
Let me see. Oh yeah. Most of Texas is actually in the fucking.
I'll tell you right now that one little spot
time.
though, that's gonna be a fucking war zone. Like right where it borders New Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Might not want to live there.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so I think El Paso would be where you want to be. Something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah. Or just go super south in Texas.
Yeah. So either way, I hope it passes. I'm fucking sick of daylight savings time. I'm sick of the clock change and the fucking annoying bullshit. And I mean, you want to talk about first world problems, but like you got to go around and change the clock on the microwave, change the clock on the stove, change the coffee pot, which I forgot. So on Monday when I woke up to go to work, because I set the coffee pot on a delay timer. So by the time I come downstairs, the coffee's done. And I didn't change the timer on the coffee. So I came down for work on yesterday morning, and the coffee wasn't done. And I was like, fuck, I didn't change the clock. So I had to run it and then wait for it to be done and then drink my coffee.
Man, nice going.
Yeah. Like I said, you want to talk first world problems, it's right there. But daylight savings time is dumb. Well, I guess technically standard time is dumb.
Standard time is dumb.
Yeah. Daylight savings is where
and
it's
the
at.
process of switching clocks is dumb.
Yes. Yep. All right. You got anything else? Or you want to start wrapping this up?
You wrap this up.
All right.
Found out, this will be quick. Found out the 5th highest paid player on the Cincinnati Reds this year.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. Hasn't played for the team in 14 years.
That is fucking wild.
It's kind of crazy how many deferred contracts there are like that in the MLB.
Yeah. The good old Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest example because everyone knows when it is. But
yeah,
Ken Griffey gets paid like $3.5 million this year or something.
That's fucking wild.
5th highest on the Reds.
I think Manny Ramirez is still on the Red Sox payroll.
Yeah,
I think I saw that somewhere, which is weird because he went to LA. And I know there's like shit where like they retain salary and they do shit like that or whatever, but
yeah, it's that deferred payment thing because since there's no salary cap, you can, I guess that's why you can do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because if there was a salary cap, it would be like, I don't know, it would be weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they're paying I'd be interested to see how many players are on a deferred plan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the Reds are shedding payroll, right? They're fucking trading everybody. I
Yeah, it's
think they've
probably
traded like 6 players in the last 2 or 3 days
I don't even know.
since they signed the CBA. Let me
Yeah,
see.
so yeah, Ken Griffey, Manny Ramirez, Matt Holliday, Bruce Sutter, Todd Helton, Max Scherzer, Brett Saberhagen. Please tell me he's still getting paid.
Jesus.
That's hysterical. He gets paid until 2029.
Yeah, so Manny Ramirez receives a payment of $1.968 million every year from the Red Sox through 2026 when
Chris
he'll be
Davis,
54. He'll be 54 years old
Paul Konerko.
on the payroll.
Oh, Kevin Garnett. He's the first non-baseball player.
Huh. Ryan Braun is getting payments until 2031.
Chris Davis until 2032. Oh, dude, this is okay. This is
Bronson
fucking crazy.
Arroyo just finished getting paid by the Reds in 2021.
So Chris Davis gets 3.5 million from 2023 to 2032.
Jesus.
Then he gets 1.4 million from 2033 to 2037. He'll be 51
That's
when
wild.
it's over.
Ichiro is still on the Mariners payroll until 2032.
This is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously
nice.
the whole Bobby Bonilla thing. When is that? 20?
I don't know.
The end is coming soon.
I
think
just closed it out.
We're close to the end. It might be like 2027 or something like that. I think it was like every year for like 30 years. And I think he probably got cut or traded, whatever the fuck happened in the mid to late 90s. So I think we're coming up on the end. It's going to be a sad day.
When it's not Bobby Bonilla Day anymore.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, that's wild. That's funny that Ken Griffey Jr. is the 5th highest paid player on the fucking Reds right now. They'll be good this year, I'm sure. All right. So my final thought, feel free to jump in on this one because it's that time of year. I have been seeing everything in the grocery store over the last probably 2 weeks. I think when this comes out, this comes out on St. Patrick's Day. So here we go. Every single fucking year, we go to St. Pat. We get near St. Patrick's Day. We have the same bullshit. Oh, gonna get your corned beef and cabbage. Oh, you got to make your corned beef and cabbage. Well, it's St. Patrick's Day. You got to get corned beef and cabbage. No, nope. You could not pay me to eat corned beef and cabbage. I want nothing to do with it. It is literal dog food. I think I would rather eat Pickett's food than eat corned beef and cabbage, and boiled fucking cabbage and gross fucking. It's terrible. It's because it's not smoked, right? Like if you had a corned beef and you threw it on the smoker, I'm sure it would be fine.
That's the thing. The issue isn't actually the corned beef.
Yeah.
It's, cabbage, first of all.
Yes.
There's a lot of things wrong here. It's cabbage, and then it's boiling.
Yes.
Because then if you want to mix in carrots and potatoes and whatever.
Yeah.
But you're going to boil that shit.
Yep.
No.
It's gross. Oh, dude, you got to have a boiled dinner. It's St. Patrick's Day. You got to do a boiled dinner. No, I don't have to do a boiled dinner. Actually,
no,
I would rather get on my hands and knees and eat Pickett's food out of her bowl. I would rather eat dog food out of a dog bowl than eat fucking boiled dinner. You can get fucked with your boiled dinner. It is absolutely disgusting. It is vile.
Because it is quite literally the worst method of cooking.
Yes.
Is boiling.
Yep.
So when you have water that's non-potable, is that the correct word? Am I using the correct terminology?
Yes, that is it.
So when water isn't potable, you boil it and now it's safe.
Correct.
You're taking your food, giving it the same treatment, and then trying to pass it off as good.
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You go to the store, you get a corned beef, you get the cabbage, you get potatoes, you get some carrots. You get home, you open up your trash barrel, put the cabbage in it. That's number one. And then if you're going to boil water, just stick your fucking head in it. Now, the carrots, if you like a roasted carrot, go nuts.
Yeah.
If you don't like a roasted carrot, put it with the cabbage.
File with the cabbage.
So you take the corned beef, and if you want to cook it in the house, no problem. It's March. Not everyone has a smoker. Not everyone has shit outside. Cast iron pan. You don't have a cast iron pan? Use a regular pan. Inferior, but it'll work.
Yeah.
Sear, throw in oven. Now, if you have any method of cooking that's better than that, you would use that. And then the potatoes, roasted. A little bit of oil, some garlic, season them up, roast them. Yep. You want to be real fancy, put some caramelized onions with them, whatever. No fucking problem.
Yeah.
But do not take bland fucking food and cook it in a bland fucking method.
In a boiling pot of water.
Yes. You have sanitized potatoes now.
Cool. Your potatoes are sterile. They also taste like shit.
They taste like nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
They just taste like starch.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely had smoked corned beef. It had to have been smoked corned beef the other day in Vermont.
Oh yeah.
It was fine, but it wasn't, when they said brisket, it wasn't what I was thinking. I think it was a smoked corned beef.
Probably.
Now, if you want to do the St. Patrick's Day thing, like you have to do it. It's like, I got to do it. Like I have to have the corned beef and a Guinness, whatever. A smoker would be a phenomenal.
Walk out to the nearest main road. Lay down on the yellow line.
No, like again, you have to do it. You have to do it. Like you say, okay, listen, I have to do it, but I want to do it.
I'm Irish. Better. I have to do it.
But you know what? But they're not coming from that fucking dumbass point of view. Someone like that, their head can go in the water. But someone's like, listen, I want to do it, but I want to do it better. Well, there you go. If you don't have a smoker, or you can't smoke a corned beef brisket all day, fine, do it in the oven. But I would smoke it. I would cook the potatoes in the oven, and then I would throw them in the smoker just to, hit them, because I already have the smoker lit. Might as well make it worth my time.
Right.
And I would be fucking off my ass off Guinness. That's how I would do it.
Yeah. I
would drink about 12 of them and be drooling on myself.
Well, that's the thing. Like people got to drink so much Guinness because the food sucks. They need to they need to be so drunk that they don't realize that the food they're eating sucks. That's the thing, though.
It doesn't have to be bad.
No, it doesn't have to be.
A boiled dinner has to be bad.
There is zero situations where boiled dinner is good.
You know what happens when a dog has the runs? You boil chicken and boil rice, plain, bland, nothing, and you fucking give it to them.
That's so true. When a dog has the
bland diet,
you put them on the bland diet. Everything is boiled.
Yeah, that's you're going to tell me that you're honoring your fucking heritage by cooking in a very similar fashion.
Yeah, you like sterilized potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to shit for 2 days, so I'm just gonna boil all the food.
yeah.
Never mind the fucking corned beef thing. Like you're loading yourself up on so many fucking preservatives,
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
nitrates and nitrites and phosphates and
Yeah. Yep.
fossil fuels, whatever.
Yeah, it's like someone will eat this like giant fucking like, boiled dinner or whatever it is, and then wonder why they feel like shit afterwards. And it's
Yeah,
like,
there's so many chemicals in a corned beef.
yeah.
Like I don't even know what to tell you like about that. And like boiling doesn't even get rid of them.
No.
It won't. It'll kill everything else except the preservatives.
Yes. Which is the whole point of it being preserved, right? Like it's gonna last.
Yeah. Nah, it's just it sucks. I know like the Great Britain and Ireland. I forget if that's something. Yes, Great Britain and Ireland. They're the two islands.
Yeah.
I know they're not known for their food, but holy shit, is it bad?
It's bad. It is very bad. I always go back to college, my old college roommate. He did a semester abroad in Ireland. And when he came back, we were like just talking, like, how was it? What'd you do? All this bullshit, whatever. And someone goes, "Oh, dude, what was the food like?" And he goes, "You ever hear of French cuisine?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You ever hear of Spanish cuisine?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, what's your fucking point? And he goes, "You ever hear of Irish cuisine?" Like, "No." And he goes, "Yeah, because it fucking sucks." And I was like, all right, now I get your point. Now I see what you were trying to say.
Dude, the only thing I can think, and I don't understand why, I really can't fucking figure out why, like why they're not known for fucking seafood or something. They're fucking islands.
Yeah, it's an island.
And it's like, oh, fish and chips. It's like you couldn't find a better way to cook a fish than fucking fry it. Like none of you could figure this out.
Yeah.
Your fucking country borderline owned everybody in the fucking world at one point.
Yes.
And none of you could figure out how to cook a fish.
The sun never set on the British Empire. Apparently it never rose on the fucking kitchen. It must have been daylight savings time.
All the fucking
never rose on the kitchen.
all the colonies you had, and no one fucking taught you how to cook a fish.
Yeah. So it's because their teeth
or maybe serve it on a proper something. No.
Yeah.
Hey, we got this fish that we just fried. What should we serve it on? Newspaper, obviously.
Yeah. Duh. What else?
Oh, we know. Hey, you know what else we're gonna do? We're gonna serve beans with every meal. Hope you like breakfast with beans. Yeah. Good, because my stomach isn't in shambles every time I wake up anyway. That's what it needs. I need some black beans in the morning.
You know what would be really good? Sausage and mashed potatoes for breakfast. It's like,
actually
okay.
That actually doesn't sound that bad.
No. Like, oh yeah,
it's just shittily cooked.
Some bangers and mash. Like, oh, it's bangers and mash. It's like sausage and mashed potatoes. That's your fucking claim to fame, huh?
That's a meal. That's like that's a cohesive meal.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. And if someone wants to be like, oh, well, you guys have fucking biscuits and gravy. Yeah. Have you ever had biscuits and gravy? It's fucking delicious. It is one of the best things ever. And it literally is just a biscuit with sausage gravy. That's it. And it's fucking incredible. You want to hand me a plate of sausages and mashed potatoes and be like, yeah, it's bangers and mash. Be like,
it better be fucking good.
It better be fucking good then. And it's not.
It won't be.
It's not.
You guys couldn't figure out how to cook a fucking fish.
No. Oh yeah, dude. Fish and chips. Sick.
Awesome.
Yeah. Fix your fucking teeth. Goddamn British fucks. Austin Powers looking motherfuckers. Well, on that note, fuck St. Patrick's Day. Fuck boiled dinner. And we're done. We're done with this episode. So thank you for watching on YouTube. Like, rate, review, subscribe, all that fun shit. Tell everybody you know about the show. Subscribe wherever you listen to. Again, whether you watch on YouTube, listen audio only, whatever you got to do. Spotify, you can give us 5 stars now. Go do that. all that fun stuff. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at sarcasm_speaks. Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. The website is just sarcasmspeaks.com. Like Sean Rivers said in 2 episodes ago, if it says Sarcasm Speaks, it's probably us. So anywhere you go for that, you can find us. Thank you to mybookie.com. Oh, I should have said that earlier. We were talking about March Madness. If you want to bet March Madness, though, you want to tail Ian McMillan from the Bacon Bets podcast, friend of the show. You can do that on mybookie.com. Use our promo code SarcasmPod to double your first deposit up to $1,000. They're also running some kind of promo right now for March Madness. It's something about like if you enter a bracket through MyBookie, you get $100 free play or something. I don't know. You have to go on mybookie.com and look at it. I'm not a spokesperson for them. They just sponsor the show. So sign up using Sarcasm Pod to double your first deposit up to $1,000, and then look into what their deal that they're running in right now with March Madness. Also, thank you to grillyourassoff.com. Go to grillyourassoff.com, use the same promo code SarcasmPod for 15% off your order every single time you check out over there. It's the best seasonings in the world. I got to buy some more. I actually think I'm going to buy some more this weekend. Finally, I've been talking about it for like 2 weeks now, but I just ran out of 2 of them in the last week. So it's time. You can get seasonings, you get t-shirts, accoutrements, aprons, anything, pickles, barbecue sauce. They got it all. So grillyourassoff.com, promo code SarcasmPod. I think that's it. So until next time, good night.